signed landmark property tax legislation that delivers meaningful relief and much-needed reform for homeowners across Iowa. When I became governor, Iowa's tax rates were among the highest in the nation at 8.98% for individual income taxes and 12% for corporate. And because of an outdated federal deductibility rule, when Congress cut taxes, Iowans paid more, not less. But President Trump's TCJA of 2017 created a window of opportunity to conform our tax code to the federal government's. And it was an opportunity that the legislature and I seized, really setting the stage to overhaul Iowa's tax system. And in the years since, we've done exactly that. In fact, Iowa has cut more personal income taxes than any other state in the country. In the last 6 years, Iowa's income tax rate has moved from the 6th highest to the 6th lowest. We've enacted a flat 3.8% flat income tax, set our corporate rate on a downward trend toward the goal of a flat 5.5%. We've eliminated retirement and inheritance taxes, and we've cut our unemployment insurance tax in half. And altogether, that comprehensive tax reform in 6 years is projected to save Iowa taxpayers and businesses over $25 billion over the next decade. And now with the changes we've made at the state level, combined with the President's permanent tax cuts for American families enacted just last year, Iowans are saving anywhere from $1,500 to $7,500 on their state and federal taxes for an overall tax savings of up to 70%. But one tax cut had remained out of reach for Iowans, and of course we all know that was property taxes. And with rates climbing year after year, the pressure on families has only grown. Over the last 2 years alone, property taxes have increased more than 10%, faster than inflation, faster than population growth, and faster than Iowans' paychecks. A pace that's not only unacceptable, but it's not sustainable. And that's exactly what all of us heard last fall, what I heard at roundtable discussions with home and landowners, business leaders, seniors and local officials in communities across the state. And their expectations could not have been clearer. They wanted property tax relief, and they wanted it this year. This was a goal that virtually everyone in state government agreed on. But we've been down this path for years with only limited progress to show for it. You know, fixing a property tax system as complicated as ours demands commitment and cooperation. And this time, that's exactly how we approached it. Months of steady work, thoughtful negotiations, and a willingness to compromise meant that Republicans can now deliver Iowans the property tax relief that they deserve and set in place reforms that bring greater stability and reliability to local government spending. And it starts by addressing the root cause of property tax increases. Because spending drives taxes, the plan requires local governments to budget like the state does, project revenue first, and then set expenses. By capping revenue growth at 2% with clear guidelines and expectations, this bill brings certainty and discipline to a process that needed both. It also quadruples the homestead tax exemption, raising it to up to $20,000, so more of Iowa's home value is protected, and also shifts the homestead tax credit to an exemption. By lowering school levies while maintaining school funding, the state is now stepping up to carry a greater share of the responsibility, easing the burden on families while keeping our commitment to strong public schools. And TIF reform helps homeowners by putting clear time limits on how long cities and counties can divert tax revenue, by capping how much revenue perpetual TIFs can use. More tax base is returned to the taxpayers, reducing pressure that can otherwise lead to higher property taxes for homeowners. Lastly, this bill creates First Home Iowa. It's a tax-deductible savings account to help young Iowans begin preparing for home ownership. We're bending the spending curve away from government and back toward the families who fund it, and we're creating another $4.2 billion in tax savings over the next 6 years. Most importantly, though, we're keeping our promise to the people of Iowa, and I'm proud to say that this milestone is a product of partnerships across the state, government, and bipartisan support in both chambers. I especially want to recognize Speaker Grassley and Leader Klimesh, as well as Senator Dawson and Representative Nordman, for getting a bill that was both workable and significant to my desk. Again, this was not an easy task, or it would have been done a long time ago. And yet we made it happen by staying committed and following through for all Iowans. And with that, I would like the leaders and both Senator Dawson and Representative Nordman to say a few words.
Well, thank you, Governor. On the very first day of this year's legislative session, Senate Republicans dropped our proposal for property tax reform. We pursued it with conviction and accomplished it because it is what Iowans demanded. The legacy of this Republican trifecta will be getting big things accomplished, and this year's property tax reform is no exception. As someone who served as mayor for a small rural Iowa town, I know how complicated property taxes can be. And I know how important fiscal responsibility is while trying to serve your community. Senate File 2472 strikes a balance of looking out for the Iowa taxpayer while still offering flexibility to Iowa's rural towns. We are proud to be delivering billions in relief to Iowans. This bill signing today represents years of hard work, difficult discussions, and tough decisions. I'd like to thank Governor Reynolds for her leadership, Speaker Pat Grassley and Representative Carter Nordman for their work, and our dedicated Ways and Means Chairman, Senator Dan Dawson, for his commitment to getting something real and workable across the finish line. Finally, my message to Iowans today is pretty simple. When we told them we will address their cost of living, we meant it. When we told them we'd cut their income taxes, we meant it. And when we told them we'd deliver real property tax reform, we meant that too. Thank you.
I just want to echo some of the comments made earlier on. First of all, I want to thank everyone behind me, the people that couldn't be here today. Literally, it's everyone in both chambers, 151 people, including LSA staff, Department of Management staff, Department of Revenue staff. Like, it definitely does take a village to build a bill like this. And so everyone who's not here today, I want to thank you as well, too. Simply, I want to say this: property tax relief has been a central focus in this building for not just the past few months, but the past year and a half. The $4 billion saved in this legislation is real relief for Iowans, businesses, and farmers, and marks another positive step forward in property tax reform. When we talk about building a better Iowa, the foundation of any policy discussion are Iowa families and Iowa communities. The thing I'm most proud of in this legislation is the governor and the Iowa legislature chose families and not corporations to have the best tax environment here in the state. It took a lot to fight back all the associations and every day trying to kill these bills and these reforms. But today we say the family home comes first. Today we show that the family home is the cornerstone of how we build not just a strong middle class, but a strong Iowa. Thank you.
Well, I just want to echo the comments, thank the governor for her leadership, the Senate, and of course our House leadership for staying committed to working together and making sure that this got across the finish line. I also want to make sure that we thank the Republican caucus in the House for the dozens and dozens and dozens of conversations that we had over this bill, and again, making sure that something was accomplished. This is a significant piece of legislation. This is not a Band-Aid. This is not a short-term solution. This is real reform that is going to deliver real results for Iowans across the state. So again, thank you, Governor, Speaker Grassley, and Leader Klimesh, and Senator Dawson for all your work, and I'm glad to see this piece of legislation through. Thank you.
I always like to go last, so I can see how many things I can repeat, so you guys know I was listening. But just thank you for this team that we have here together, that we've been able to deliver on this. Senator Dawson, I think you touched on this, that we came into last session with the goal knowing that Iowans expected us to get something done to provide certainty. My opinion, for too long, the certainty has always existed for the taxing entities. This bill that the governor is going to sign today shifts that priority back to the taxpayer. Governor, we've stood up here together for a lot of those monumental achievements that we've been able to get done, working with the Senate, working with the House, and just ultimately I would just say from Iowans, from my message to Iowans, what you see here today is unity within our party, that when we go to tackle big issues that some say that we're unable to get done, like property tax reform of a historic nature, that we've stuck together and we've been able to deliver on those promises. I think for too long, politicians say we're going to do one thing, they don't do it, they're unable to keep those promises. But I think what you're seeing here today is a unified Republican Party that was able to get something done that many thought would be unable to be accomplished. And so I'm proud to work with all these folks here today, as well as those that couldn't be here, to be a part of this historic piece of legislation. And thank you, Governor, for continuing to lead Iowa forward in a way that shows Iowa families and businesses that this is a place where they should want to grow and invest. So thank you.
All I do not do the high five with every one of you up there. Well, thank you all, and I think my text to the leaders and the floor managers right as soon as we got it across was, "Thank you, we did it," and we did it. We would not have gotten to this moment without the dedication and partnership from the people behind me and in both chambers. And as governor, I'm telling you, I could not be more grateful. I too want to recognize, Senator, you started, but Nick Belkey from the Iowa Department of Revenue, Ted Nilsson and Kerry Johnson and John Parker from the Iowa Department of Management, and a special thanks to my tax policy advisor, Patrick Tomka, who better raise his hand back there. We ran him through the mill, so thank you. We just appreciate your support during the bill draft, everybody's support during the bill drafting process, which ranged from high-level counsel to the construction and refinement of detailed financial models to background research that really paved the way to this moment, and all of that made a difference. And again, we worked with caucuses on both sides, and then the floor managers and just the leaders across the board to just continually look at models, find compromise, figure out a way to get a bill across the finish line, and we did it. So most importantly, we want to say thank you to the people of Iowa, the families, farmers, small business owners, seniors, and aspiring homeowners who spoke up at every roundtable and made the need for change undeniable. To everyone who pushed for progress and held us accountable, your voices mattered, and my hope is that this bill, along with the common sense conservative policies that we've gotten through both chambers and to my desk, will keep Iowa strong for generations to come. And now it's my privilege to sign this bill into law.